Welcome back to the video series for the SAScon 2026 VCheese tournament. If you haven't watched the intro video for this tournament, I recommend checking it out. My army is Quahan with 4 squads of Spiders, Rise of the Valkyrie Raylan, and Mara Warriors. This is round 3, where I'm facing VCheese, who has Q9, Rise of the Valkyrie Raylan, 4 squads of Death Reavers, Mara Warriors, and Isamu. This map is Chronicle, and the near glyph is Dagmar, and the far glyph is Ingvild. This is a pretty good matchup for Quahan, though Q9 is always scary. Quahan's Lightning Breath special attack is very good at removing rats, and especially good if you have the opportunity to chain the attack from a front rat back into Raylan, which is usually the best targeting option if it's available. Dagmar is also a good glyph for me. Even though rats are normally better at controlling glyphs, Quahan's special attack allows her to kill the rat on it and then replace it with a spider, so rats are much less good at glyph control here than they normally are. In terms of threats to Quahan, it's pretty much just Q9, though I expect I'll have to get through Raylan and most of the rats first. I lose initiative in round 1, which is nice, and see 3 order markers on rats and 1 on Q9. I actually wasn't sure if the rats would be coming out first or not, given Quahan's special attack is so good into them, but it looks like they will be. 4 of them move up behind the ruin. Over to me, and I make a very conservative Raylan placement, hiding her behind that near tree. I want her to cover Quahan on height, but not be vulnerable to 8-range shots from Q9, as it will take Quahan a while to clear out all the rats, and I need Raylan to survive that exchange. More rats then move up. I don't have any shots yet with Quahan, so I move her very conservatively, planning to come in hot on my next order marker, and a few spiders develop up behind the ruin. The order marker 3 is on rats, and one of them takes Dagmar, and others fill in a nice pocket where Q9 will probably want to be sitting next round. Quahan then comes in, though I end up not putting her on max height, and I'm not sure why. My guess is I was trying to avoid Q9 being able to Queglex from a specific spot. I end up hitting 3 of the rats in that front line with the special attack, but I think I should have instead hit this rat, chained to here, and then into Raylan. I'm not sure if Quahan would have been able to see that first target from max height, but if she could have, that would have been much better than what I did. I roll 2 out of 4, but all 3 rats block it. I then bring up 3 spiders, all in Raylan's aura, but forward enough where they can start engaging things, if needed. Broadly, I want to keep spiders inside Raylan's aura until I need them to tie up something to protect Quahan or accomplish some other goal. I didn't attack the rat on Dagmar here because I actually wanted to lose the round 2 initiative, and then have the chance at the switch from round 2 to round 3 or round 3 to round 4, because I might be able to clear out enough rats by then to engage Q9 across one of those switches. I do lose the round 2 initiative, and see 2 order markers each on rats and Q9. Rats have the order marker 1 and take height on Quahan, and I'm still wondering why I didn't put her on max height to prevent this. That was quite dumb. Another rat backs up to deny the chain from the engaged ones, but thankfully the 2 rat attacks do miss Quahan. Quahan is pretty stuck now, so she uses the special attack on those 2 rats on height, and luckily kills both of them. I move 1 spider up to where it can reach Ingvild in 1 move, in case I need disengage to get spiders where they need to be on future turns, and then appear to move 3 other spiders up the middle, for a total of 4 spider moves this turn. God damn it. The number of times I've caught myself doing illegal movements on these replays has been really discouraging. I swear I'm not trying to do it, but I appear to be really good at accidentally cheating, and I'm sorry, VCheese. The order marker 2 is on Q9, who steps up to the plateau and takes a normal 4v6 up at Quahan, which I block. Quahan now takes max height and sends a special attack through a front rat back into Raylan and another rat. I don't kill either rat, but I do put 2 wounds on Raylan here. 1 spider takes the disengage glyph, as I thought I might want it on my order marker 3 for the switch. Another fills his spot to retake it if needed, and a third develops up the middle. I'm fine with Q9 taking his 4v2 shot at that spider on the glyph instead of 3x 3v6 on Quahan, as losing 1 spider is pretty much always worth saving attacks on Quahan. Q9 elects to stay put and Queglex Quahan, doing 2 wounds to her this turn. Quahan stays put and takes the same special attack again, and hits a 3 out of 4 that still misses both rats, but does kill Raylan, which is pretty massive. Since I didn't get a chance to kill the rat on the initiative glyph, I end up playing for the future switch again instead. I send one spider to engage Q9 to save at least one attack next turn on Quahan, and then develop 2 other spiders forward. Now that I've killed his Raylan, I need to consider moving my Raylan forward to cover Quahan and spiders closer to his start zone, as I'm still outranged by Q9, and now I'm willing to engage Q9 with Quahan in the right circumstance to get the 6v7. So I put my order marker 1 on Raylan, planning to throw her forward aggressively. I do lose the round 3 initiative, and Q9 kills that engaged spider, but gets nothing else. My order marker 1 is on Raylan, and I move her as far forward as I can, as she'll get shot at regardless, and I want as good of Raylan coverage as possible. But in hindsight, I wonder if this spot would have been better, as she can cover both sides from there, albeit not spiders on the far side of the ruin, and is a bit more protected from some angles of Q9 shots. Q9 then pivots to the far height and Queglex's Raylan, doing 4 wounds to her. Ow. Neither Raylan seems to have mastered the art of blocking attacks very well in this particular game. I find myself really wanting Dagmar here, so Quahan nudges forward slightly and hits that rat, but then has no other targets. I do get that rat though, which is pretty big. I then triple engage Q9 with spiders to keep Raylan alive, but those spiders are all outside of her aura, which makes her position pretty useless to them. They take 3 attacks, but miss the 2v8s. Q9 stays put and manages to kill all 3 engaged spiders. I'm now realizing how rough this map is for Quahan, pretty much anywhere in the middle of the map, as he just can't fit in most spots. Generally, her tail isn't able to fit if there's a 1 hex height gap between where she is standing and where the terrain on the spot that her tail will fit is. She ends up engaging one of the rats and using her special attack into them, killing one but not the engaged one. Spiders take Dagmar and double engage Q9, but neither 2v8 goes through. I win the round 4 initiative because of Dagmar, and Quahan moves to engage a different rat, and sends the special attack into Q9 through that rat, but does no wounds. One spider engages Q9 on even ground, another engages from low ground, and a third develops towards him. The engaged spider does manage a wound on him though, from the 2v7. Q9 is now very stuck, so he stays put and attacks spiders, getting 1 kill this turn. Quahan now engages Q9 on even ground for the 6v7 and does 2 wounds to him. But she did have to leave Raylan's aura to do this, so that Raylan placement is really hurting me. That's going to be 6 less defense dice that Quahan gets on the next turn. I send 1 spider to start hitting Mara warriors, develop another, and take the 2v7 on Q9 with the final attack, but neither attack does any wounds. Q9 sends Queglex into Quahan, doing 3 wounds and leaving her with 2 life. I now have to send Quahan away to safety, as I can't afford to lose her here. So she moves away from Q9, but only rolls 1 for 4 on the special attack and doesn't kill anything. I send another spider to engage the Mara warriors, and another to tie up Q9, but none of them do any wounds this turn. Q9 stays put and hits spiders, killing one of them this turn. My broad game plan at this point should be to keep hitting Q9 from range with Quahan's special attack as long as I have enough spiders to keep him tied down with, hoping to kill him via that method, and if it fails, then going in for the 6v7 once I'm almost out of spiders. That gives me the best chance to have Quahan survive this engagement with Q9, which is important, as otherwise I'm at a disadvantage in the late game with Mara warriors versus Mara warriors and rats. I win the round 5 initiative and see 3 order markers still on Q9, so I just have to keep focusing on him, as if I kill him, I'll then have the full round to deal with the Mara warriors. Quahan stays put and throws the special attack into 2 rats in Q9, hitting 3 out of 4 skulls, which is enough to get the rats, but Q9 blocks it. I pivot 1 spider up to even ground with Q9 and bring one of the ones that was engaged with the Mara warriors to also engage Q9 instead, to keep 3 spiders on him to protect Quahan, but they don't do any damage. Q9 stays put and kills 2 spiders with the special attack. Quaihan stays put and actually goes for the Mara Warriors here instead of Q9, and rolls a 3 out of 4 that does kill all 3 targets. I'm not sure if I like this though. I could have instead hit Q9 and chained it into the 2 rats hiding behind the ruin, as Q9 can see one of them. My thinking in-game was that if Quaihan gets the Mara Warriors before I run out of spiders, then I have a decent endgame spot for my Mara Warriors, even if I don't finish off Q9. But that final Mara Warrior is so protected that it's going to be a bit hard to kill it, so I'm not sure I like this in hindsight. I triple engage Q9 again, but do no spider wounds. Q9 stays put and kills 1 spider this turn. I now send Quaihan in to engage Q9, taking the 6v7, but he blocks it. I feel like this move was fairly incongruent with my previous turn, where I targeted Mara Warriors instead, so I'm just kinda all over the place in-game here, as I don't think these decisions work together particularly well. I think I like this decision, but not the previous one, where I targeted the Maros. I think that should have instead been the special attack into Q9 and the rats. 1 spider retakes Dagmar, and the other spider rolls a 1 out of 2 attack that somehow gets through Q9's blank, killing him. Welp, if 6 dice don't succeed, try again with just 2. I'll take it though. The order marker 3 was actually hedged on Mara Warriors though, so my weird attack sequencing actually works out fantastically somehow. The last Mara Warrior stays put and tries to clone, but fails the roll. I win the round 6 initiative, and see 3 order markers on Isamu. Quaihan comes in and hits rats with the special attack, getting out of Isamu range, but the 1 for 4 fails to kill any. A spider retakes the disengage glyph so that Quaihan will have it next turn, and the other moves up a tad to where it has more flexibility next turn. Isamu then advances towards Quaihan. I then fuck up again and move Quaihan 6 spaces. Jesus, Perkins. It appears I moved Quaihan and then tried to move her back, but got the wrong starting spot, and then moved her 5 spaces from there, which was actually 6 from where she started the turn at. I don't know what to say except additional apologies to VCheese, and I'm just not careful enough when I play. Quaihan sends her special attack into that rat, another near the Mara Warrior, and the Mara Warrior, killing the engaged one, but neither of the others. I then forgot that Isamu has this neat power called Phantom Walk, and thought I could prevent him from reaching Quaihan with this spider move. At least this fuck-up made up for the previous one, though, as Isamu can still get to Quaihan, which he should have been able to do. Isamu engages both Quaihan and Raylan, and ends up targeting Raylan instead, but she blocks the 5v4. I had my order marker 3 on Mara Warriors as a hedge against Quaihan dying, thinking that I wanted to get them moving by now so they could spread out. They do spread out, and I get 1 shot at Isamu, which misses. Isamu then takes max height and kills my Raylan. I put 1 order marker on Quaihan here, with 3 order markers on Mara Warriors, but I actually have the 1 on Quaihan. I was hoping to either win initiative, or have him think I didn't have a real order marker on Quaihan. I do win initiative, and Quaihan takes the special attack into the Mara Warrior and 2 rats. I really wanted to get that Mara Warrior here, and killing a few rats with it helps set up a better Mara Warrior endgame as well. The 2 out of 4 is enough to get all 3 of them, which is pretty massive, as Isamu really can't track down all of the Mara Warriors on his own, unless I have ungodly bad rebirth rolls. Isamu now comes back and kills Quaihan. Mara Warriors take a bunch of hided spots, but Isamu hits the first vanish and hides behind the ruin. He then comes back out and attacks up at a Mara Warrior, but misses the 3v4. Mara Warriors then spread out a bit more, behind the power of the disengage glyph, but Isamu fails his first vanish roll this turn, and VCheese concedes with just the rats left. Far from an expertly played game by me, with several major positioning mistakes, at least 1 targeting mistake, moving 1 too many spiders once, and moving Quaihan too far once. But the good matchup ends up barely carrying the day, and I win this one to go 3-0 and win this tournament. This field of armies wasn't particularly representative of what I'd expect a normal VCheese field to look like, with only 2 out of 6 of those main armies I mentioned getting played, so it wasn't a big surprise to see that those 2 armies were the ones playing in finals. Matchup-wise, I got lucky that there were no 10th or Krav-centric builds out there, as those are some of the worst ones for Quaihan, and that I avoided Mike's King Killer army with all of those Havocs.